Hello, my name is Shannon Odom, and I am a travel advisor slash travel agent. Both of those terms are used pretty interchangeably. I live in the Abilene Big Country area, and I've been here since 2003, although I grew up in Fort Worth. I live here with my husband, our son, who has a place in town and attends the university that we both work at, and our mini Australian Shepherd Harley, who you may hear him wandering around or begging for attention, whatnot, throughout my videos. So this is going to be the first video episode that I talk about travel. If you want to contact me directly, you can visit my website, which is sailawayvacay.com. Follow the Facebook site, which is facebook.com/sailawayvacay. And I usually post specials and updates and videos on there. And if you want to email me, it's sailawayvacay@gmail.com. And I will post all this information down below in the comments section, so you don't have to rewind or figure out how to spell anything. So today we're mainly going to be talking about cruises. I am a travel advisor and I do all sorts of bookings. It can be land, it can be sea, but today we're going to talk about sea because I really love cruising. And that's actually what got me into the travel advisor business. Let's see where to start. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few things. One is the value of a cruise. What does it bring that land travel does not? What do they include? What is it like on a ship? And let's talk pricing and cruise versus land travel pricing. One of the things I really like about cruises is, like, once I finally make it on board, get through boarding and passports or birth certificates and in your driver's license. You can do either, but I recommend passports. It's a lot faster getting off a ship. Getting on board a ship is pretty much like international traveling at an airport, at an international airport. It's gonna take a little while. Everybody has to do it, but it's really not too bad. But what I really like about cruises is once I get on board, I know I'm good, because all my lodging, all my meals, tons of onboard entertainment, it's all included. And I'm not going to be nickel and dimed to death over every little thing or have to worry about how much, okay, we're going to go to dinner here, how much would this cost? It's included for the most part. There is, of course, specialty activities and specialty dining. If you want to order, alcohol, that is going to be extra, but what's included is a very good value. So let's talk about that. Let's see. Lodging, meals, places to snack, onboard entertainment. Okay, first let's talk about our rooms. So yeah, cruise rooms, an interior room. I've done interior, I've done ocean view, I've done balcony. I haven't done any suites yet. But to be honest, a balcony is nice, especially if you're on a longer cruise and you can stop and just kind of hang out on your balcony with a drink or with your significant other, with a book, and just kind of enjoy it. But it's not a necessity. There are some perks to having an interior room as well. It's a little quieter. It's a lot darker. And therefore it's a little bit cooler because you don't have sun coming in through the windows, even though they have really good, room darkening curtains. I like to sleep where it's dark and where it's cold, and you definitely have that on an interior room. The first cruise I took my husband on, this was his first one, we did a balcony because it was our anniversary trip. We got married during COVID, and we were supposed to go on a cruise for our honeymoon, but COVID and cruises got canceled, so we ended up going to Hawaii instead, which was a great trip, and I'll do an episode on Hawaii as well at some point. But I took him on that cruise, and he was very kind of skeptical. He'd never been on one. He was worried, am I going to get sick? And I'm like, I think you're going to be fine. You can barely feel the ship moving most of the time, unless It's like rough seas if there's stormy weather, or it doesn't last very long generally. Sometimes in cruise ships they try to go around any storms. They have people with their company that are constantly monitoring that to try to make sure that if they need to redirect travel, then they do so and avoid rough seas for their passengers and their crew. So the rooms, whether you have a balcony room or a suite or an interior room, which is generally the most affordable, the lowest costing room is an interior. You have an assigned room steward who will probably know your names before you even get on the boat. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've come down the hall to the room and our steward is there. He's got his cart, he's doing things, and he'll say, "Hi, Shannon, Frank," and we haven't introduced ourselves yet. He has already seen our pictures and he has learned our names, and he gives us his card and introduces himself to us, and he says, if you need anything, call this number on the card. I will help you. And every day he's going to come in your room and he's going to clean it. And sometimes, depending on the cruise line, you'll have like a little towel animal that they make and put on your bed, which is cute. And he'll ask you, do you want me to clean your room in the morning, or do you like to sleep in? You want me to clean your room kind of around lunchtime or in the afternoon? So they will work with you. They will take very good care of you. And they do it with a smile, and they work very, very hard for you. So you have like an assigned room steward. And the rooms are basic. They come usually with 2 twin beds that go together to make a king, if you want a king bed. If you're like when my son was younger and it was just me and him, and we would, we had twin beds. And there's usually a TV, a desk. Sometimes there's a sofa that could also break out into another twin size bed or a full size bed. It depends on the room. There's a bathroom with a shower, and there's closets to hang up your clothes, and there's little bedside tables. It's just a pretty basic room. And you're really only in there to like sleep, nap, which part of a vacation for me is taking a nap. So the rooms are pretty basic, but they're clean and they take very good care of your rooms for you. Although I do recommend, please don't leave your dirty laundry out. Just put it up, regulate one suitcase for dirty laundry. Don't make their job any harder than it has to be. They're already going to make your bed and dust and clean everything and scrub your toilet. So don't leave your laundry out. That's just kind of a pet peeve of mine. So, okay, let's talk about food. I am sure that you have heard about people going, I'm going to go on a cruise and I'm going to gain 10 pounds because there's so much food. There is a lot of food options. To date, I still have not managed to eat at every single free dining option on board during my cruise. And I've been on 7 and 8 day cruises, and it just didn't happen. One of the comedians at one of the comedy clubs we went to was like, "Hey man, if there's not food in your mouth if you're not eating every 15 minutes, you're losing money on this." And he's just kind of making a joke because people talk about food, but the food is very good. And you have a lot of options. This isn't like just a little continental breakfast that's included like with a hotel or something. There is a full breakfast buffet. There is an omelet bar usually where they'll make omelets fresh for you. There is a dining hall with a buffet that's available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. And then on sea days, when you're not at port, you're just kind of cruising during that day, a lot of them will have sea day brunches, which I highly recommend. They are very, very good food. And it's in the main dining room, which is the fancy dining room you get to eat at night. And you don't have to dress fancy for the brunches, but it's nice. You go in, you sit down, there's a menu, although since COVID, pretty much everybody's gone to apps on their phone for that. What's nice about this is I already know what I'm going to choose for dinner or brunch or whatever before I even get there. And a lot of times, if you're going to brunch or something like that, that's not an assigned dining time, you'll need to check in and put the number of people in your group, and they'll tell you, hey, your table is ready. They'll alert you so you don't just go down there and have to stand forever in line. And they'll alert you. They'll say, hey, your table's ready. We will hold it for you for 10 minutes. And we just go down the elevator and go eat. It's a really good experience. They have steak, eggs, French toast. If you want more lunch stuff, they've got that. If you want more breakfast stuff, they have that. They have really good fruit and yogurt, nut parfaits, and they have salmon, they have lox, bagels, you name it. They've got really good options for brunch. And breakfast is good too. Usually it's like bacon every other day, and there's sausage in between, and there's eggs and fresh fruit and yogurt and cereal for kids if they want that. They have oatmeal. They have sugar-free options for both syrup for if you want pancakes or waffles, or for like preserves or jam on your toast. So that's nice. As somebody who is type 2 diabetic, that they have those sugar-free options, so I can kind of pick and choose my carbs throughout the day. Let's see, specialty dining. Okay, they do have specialty dining, which is where they have like a steakhouse or something with a chef who will prepare it right there for you. Those are extra. I haven't done those. The people I've talked to, friends, they've done those and they're really good. But for me, I'm pretty budget conscious when I travel, so I generally just take advantage of the free options because it's still a lot. Let's see, there's different places scattered throughout like the Lido deck. They have usually pizza places, little cantinas with tacos. They have a seafood shacks. They have Asian fusion. Get a drink real quick because I'm talking a lot. They have some cruises have a Guy Fieri's burger joint. Those are really good. The pizza place is really good. They got these fresh thin crust pizzas. My favorite is the Quattro Formaggio. It's 4 different types of cheese, and it's on this hand tossed, very thin crust with olive oil and garlic and the cheese, and it's very good. My husband likes the pepperoni. It's good too, but I look forward to that when I'm on that ship or that cruise line. Let's see. Some of them have like little soft serve cone machines you can get all day. There is usually what's included in regards of like beverages. You get you get juice at breakfast, and then, which is sugar, let's face it. And then milk, coffee, tea, and water are available throughout the day at no cost in the dining rooms. So you can always go get a cup of coffee, which I like. I also like that I can call room service and ask to have a pot of coffee delivered to our room when we first wake up before we get a brunch to help kind of get us going. And they will do that too, and that's really nice. Okay, so let's talk about activities on board. There's a lot to do on board, and they have pools, they have hot tubs, they have lounge chairs. They have adults only lounge areas, so you don't have like kids splashing next to you. Although if those are your kids splashing, please don't leave them unattended. Most cruise lines have kid programs during the day where they can go and be with kids their age and do activities. And the younger ones probably stay there. I've seen some of like the teen ones where they do like a little bit around the ship. Like I've seen some scavenger hunts and stuff, but it gives them a chance to kind of interact with their peers, people their own age. They're not just with mom and dad. And so they do have those options, and sometimes it's nice if mom and dad just want a little bit of alone time, even if it's just to go nap in your room, okay? Take advantage of the nap, okay? Those are few and far between, and I regret every nap I did not take as a child. Let's see. So they also have trivia games. My stepfather, he won lots of little trophies from all the trivia games that he would attend. A lot of it was probably from sports trivia. Let's see. But they do music, pop culture, all sorts of stuff. The trivia games are fun. They're usually kind of in the little lounge area, near the coffee shops and whatnot. Let's see. There's comedy clubs, which both my son, me and my husband, my mom, everybody pretty much loves the comedy clubs. They usually have a couple different types of shows per night, and those will be kind of family-friendly PG-13 shows, and then you have like your kind of 18 and up rated R shows. And to be honest, and sometimes it'll be the same comedian. Like comedian A will do a PG show on one night, and comedian B will do the R-rated, and then the next night they'll flip. So you get like a total of like 4 different shows in those 2 days that you can go see if you want to. And we've done back-to-back ones. They're fun. We really like the comedy clubs. You do have to get there early though. Like show up half an hour before it's supposed to start. Because if you show up 10 minutes till, most of the seating is taken. And at 5 till, it's probably standing room only. But they're a lot of fun. And honestly, we like the PG ones better than the R-rated ones. Let's see. So they have nightclubs. They have several nightclubs. They have bars. They have like singing piano bars. So those are fun. They have karaoke bars. Let's see. They have deck parties. They usually have like the big party that they do one night, and sometimes they have like a white, like a all white clothes deck party where everybody kind of wears all white. Sometimes it's 80s, and we pull out, like my husband has an 80s MTV t-shirt, and I've got like an off-shoulder kind of Cyndi Lauper weird thing happening with lots of bracelets and a headband and stuff that screams the 80s. And so those are fun. And I've done those with my mom, my stepsister and my brother and my niece and nephew, and they're just a lot of fun. Just kind of singing and dancing and being kind of stupid, just kind of carefree. So that's fun. Let's see. They have dive-in movies, which is where you get to sit on the Lido deck usually, and on the big screen they have like a pretty recent movie playing, and there's popcorn. You can even do it in the hot tubs. You can, sit. Don't take the popcorn in the hot tubs. Don't be that person. No popcorn in the hot tubs. But you can kind of relax and watch a movie in the ocean, ocean noises behind you, and salt air, all that stuff. It's fun. Let's see. There's nightly shows and musical productions. Some cruise ships have even ice skating shows, which is wow. There are rock walls. There are pools, hot tubs, slides. There are like a surf simulators, kind of like at the water parks where you can get on a surfboard and surf, but you're, on a ship. And they have sky courses. The last one that we went on, both my husband and my son did the ropes course, the sky course that went over like the very top of the ship. There's usually mini golf. Some cruise ships, they have they have roller coasters. They have bowling alleys. They have 4D theaters. Every ship has a spa. There's live music on multiple decks that you can go to. They do have some shopping. There's also a library if you just want to go, hey, I read the book I already brought. I need another. Or I forgot to bring a book. I just want to go lay out, read for a little bit. And you can go in, borrow a book, just return it before you leave. No big deal. Drop off one, take one. They have also an internet area if you need to check your work email or check on the house or the pets that you left behind. Hopefully those guys are well cared for. Let's see. They have chess game. Oh, some of them have giant chessboards, like room-sized big chessboards with people-sized chess pieces that you can play. And then they also have like little chessboards and whatnot in the library too. I could keep going, but there's so much to do on a cruise ship. Let me hydrate here. Okay, if you're bored on a ship, then that's your own fault. Kind of like if you go hungry on a cruise, you got no one to blame but yourself because there's stuff to do everywhere. Art auctions. We like going to art auctions. Usually there's free champagne. And everybody goes home with like a little art print that you can take with you. And sometimes there's freebies. I've won free bottles of champagne, free art prints, stuff like that, free waterproof phone case, a free tote bag, stuff like that. Just at the art shows, the art auctions. They're really interesting, especially if you enjoy art and you don't know a lot about some of, more contemporary artists, or I really enjoy the informational session that they do on Thomas Kinkade. That's always really interesting. So if you're like, I don't want to go back outside, it was hot, I don't want to be hot, I just want to kind of sit and just kind of chill for a little bit, and art auction's a fun thing to go to. Okay. Most of these activities, like I said, are generally included. There are a few things that on a few ships you do pay extra for. I believe like the 40 theater and the bowling are generally extra, probably a couple other things, but for the most part, almost everything I just listed, the rock walls, the sky courses, the surf things, those are, it's included. And so it's really nice to have all of those activities from the crack of dawn till whenever you finally crawl into your stateroom and go to bed. There's just tons of stuff to do, and you don't have to worry about pulling out your wallet and going, do I have the money to do this? Do we have time? Sometimes you do have to factor time because you're like, oh, well, I liked like 6 things on the app that I want to do today, and I really only have time to do like 3 of them in the remaining time before I have to go to bed. So, sometimes you pick and choose. Let's see. Okay, so I will have more episodes that focus on each of the aspects I was talking about. But today's just kind of a general overview. So let's talk value and pricing. I'm going to use, for an example, a recent cruise I went on this summer with my husband and some family. And I booked this before I was a travel advisor. And it was for this, the 4th of July weekend that we just had. And it was for 4 nights out of Galveston. And for 2 people, me and my husband, it was $564 with taxes and fees. That did not include gratuities, which is something that gets added to your onboard bill after you're on the ship. Gratuities generally range from like $13 or $14 to like $16 or $17 for kind of like your baseline cruise lines, like just, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, MSC. When you start getting into the more luxury lines, it does go up a little bit. And if you're in a suite versus a regular stateroom or balcony, it is more if you're in like some fancy suite that charges like crazy amounts, but has amazing amenities. So let's see. If I had gone, so I kind of compare this cruise to if we had gone to Galveston, because we drove either way. We drove to Galveston from Abilene. My husband did accidentally leave me at a gas station. That happened. It's funny. I'm not mad. My son was asleep in the front seat. I'd been kind of sleeping in the back, and my husband was driving. We stopped for gas, and after we filled up, I said, "Let's go inside. I need to use the bathroom." And it's like a one-person bath. It's one bathroom, and it was occupado. When we stood there waiting, and I finally got in, and I used it very quickly, and then I got out, and I said, looked, and I was like, oh, there's breakfast burritos. It was in the morning because we left at like 4:30 or something in the morning, and so I went to go buy breakfast burritos for everybody. And after I checked out and I walked out, the car was gone. And Frank had gotten back in the car, and he thought I was sleeping in the back again. And he got a few minutes down the road, and he kind of reached in the back to kind of pat my leg and ask me how I was doing. And there's no leg, there's no wife. And he and I had left my phone in the back seat of the car. And so he woke up Alan, and he said, "Hey, wake up. We got to go back. I left your mom at the gas station." And of course, Alan's been asleep since the last gas station. So he's like, "Where is she?" So anyways, they come back. It was only maybe 5 minutes or something like that. He's only a couple minutes down the highway. But I was just like, I went to get burritos and you left me. It was great. It was fine. It was funny. I'm not mad. It was really funny. And it was, when we picked my mom up at the airport in Houston on our way in, we stopped to use the bathrooms before we headed to the cruise terminal. And she's like, I want to go to the bathroom. I said, don't worry, we won't leave you. Because I had taken over driving after they came back to the gas station and got me. So I compare this cruise to going on if we had driven to Galveston and stayed for 4 nights and had gone out to eat. So that's what I'm comparing this to. And I would say for a hotel in Galveston for 4 nights, it's pretty easy to spend about $450 if you're not staying in because you can find a room for $40 and you can find a room for $400 a night. But I kind of have a standard, and so I would say it's easy to spend, $450 with taxes included on a hotel in Galveston for 4 nights. Okay, so that's $450. So let's talk food. If you ate out, let's say there's continental breakfast at your hotel, which, by the way, I do recommend the La Quinta in Galveston, the newer one. If you stay there the night before your cruise, you can park there for free while you're gone on your cruise, and they have a really good breakfast. I mean, like eggs, bacon, toast, yogurt, waffles, that kind of biscuits, gravy, that kind of thing. So they have a decent breakfast there too. But if you go out to eat, so let's say you have a breakfast included with your hotel, and you're still going to have to go out to eat probably for lunch and for dinner. And I don't want to eat fast food, and I don't want to cook while I'm on vacation. And my family, we're kind of foodies. We enjoy a good meal. So it's easy to say that we could spend $100 a day in food, especially after tipping, and if you want a snack or late night coffee, stuff like that. So if you're keeping up with the math here, if we spent $450 on lodging and $400 on food, we're at $850 already. And I haven't even talked about entertainment during the day. Now, clearly the beach is there in Galveston, and that's pretty much free if you bring all this stuff, and parking on the seawall's free. And so you can lounge on the beach or at the pool at your hotel for free. But I probably would want to do more than just that for 4 days. That's just me. You could go to Moody Gardens. You could go downtown. There's a lot of different things you could do. And those all cost money. But because we've already hit $850 with lodging and food, then I'm just gonna move on. So again, we spent $564 on the cruise with taxes and fees. And it included all those activities I listed before. Gratuities were I think they were $58 per person per day, per cruise, per cabin. Sorry. Not per day. Like I said, it ranges kind of from $13 to $14 to maybe $16, $17 a person. So gratuities for us that got added to our onboard bill were $58 each. But I also had a $50 onboard cruise credit. So that pretty much took care of the gratuities for one of us. So the $564 that we paid for our cruise fare with taxes and fees, plus whatever the onboard credit didn't cover for our gratuities, our total was about $620. And I feel like that $620, I got more out of that than I would have staying in a hotel and limiting and have to worry about how much I'm spending at each little place, in town. So $620 for 2 adults, 4 nights, accommodation, and literally all the food we could eat, and we could not eat it all. I feel like it was a really good deal, especially with the fact that everybody on the cruise ship takes really, really good care of you. And they do it with a smile on their face, and they're efficient, they're fast, and they work really hard to take care of you. We also spent about $80 a person on an excursion when we were in Cozumel, and that included an air-conditioned bus ride to this beach that had an open bar. It had free lunch from a limited menu, but it was really good. My husband and my son both really liked the fish tacos. They were very good. Included snorkeling, lounge chairs and had music, and we went snorkeling straight from the shore. Of course, we brought our snorkeling stuff, which is a good way to save money if you have room for it in your luggage. Especially if you have little ones, renting multiple sets kind of gets expensive. And they can use it for other things besides just a cruise trip. So that's kind of just an overview of a cruise. And I will go into more details about pricing, how to find those deals. Because I know that you hear about those deals where they're like, oh, it's $119 for 5 nights. And you're like, that's amazing. That does not include taxes and fees. And that's probably out of Miami. And those are going to occur probably usually in like February or October. Everything gets more expensive during any time that school is out, during holiday weekends, Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, and summers. And some cruise ships, they do offer like kids sail free. That does not include holiday weekends or summer break, which I sadly figured out when I was trying to help some friends book some travel for next summer, for next July, and there are several kids going, and I was trying to figure out what's going on. It doesn't apply when kids are actually out of school. So in those cases, you have to look for kids sail for less specials, because those are usually like year round. But I will go into more specials later and kind of price, like really spelling it out, how to find the good deals. And lastly, I'm going to close with the advantage of using a travel advisor to book your cruise. Whatever specials that you are privy to, whether it's through your rewards account, whether it's your VIFP number or your Crown and Anchor number, whatever rewards account number that you have with a cruise line, we can still book that for you. We can often have, like with Royal Caribbean, I generally on most Royal Caribbean cruises that I book for my customers, I often have at least $50 to $75 onboard credit available to add on to whatever special price that we have found for them already. And even just when I was looking at prices for a friend, it was already a couple $100 less than if they had gone onto Royal Caribbean or Carnival, etc. Your travel advisor has access to a lot of deals, and sometimes they have different promotions that they're able to give to you. And so the commissions that we get paid are already included in your cruise fare. Okay? It's not costing you extra to use a travel advisor or a travel agent. It's already included. So when you book yourself and you don't take advantage of a travel advisor, then pretty much you've paid for a service that you're not getting. And a travel advisor will make sure the right people are in the right rooms. They'll get everything booked and set up for you with reminders. They'll help you with travel insurance and like last minute updates from the cruise line, because sometimes storms happen, things happen, and they reroute from one port to another, although that doesn't happen often, but it can. But a travel advisor, especially with like all the updates from COVID, because I've done 3 cruises post-COVID. We have a cruise in September that we're going on with MSC. This is my first time on MSC, so I'll be doing lots of little videos about them. But a travel advisor has a wealth of knowledge and can help take some of the stress of like planning travel and booking excursions and all the little activities that you're not sure is available for you. They can help you find that out. So I hope this kind of gave you a good introduction to cruises, and I will be following up with more videos just on all the little different segments I was talking about, and tips, and how where to get things for free, and when do the big sales usually happen, stuff like that. So click like or follow below, or check me out on facebook.com/sailawayvacay or my website, and I'll see you guys next time.